So welcome to the Houston Productivity Webinar. So we have Anthony, who is an Accounts Director with us, myself, a Project and Sales Coordinator. We've got Luke, he's our IntelliMed Product Lead and also a software developer. Daniel, one of our software analysts, and Nathan, software developer, and Jeff, our General Manager, is here as well. So today's agenda, we'll have a quick introduction, and then Daniel's going to talk about Power BI. Nathan will discuss Power Automate. Luke will talk about software development, and then I'll give a demo on EasyScan, and Anthony will talk about our client journeys. And then, like Jeff said, at the end, we've got questions, but feel free to use the chat box to type any questions during the meeting. Hand over to you, Jeff.
So I believe most of you would know us, but we're Houston. Has the longest history in IT company in the Waikato region. Now we got 4 divisions. We have consulting, technology, productivity, and digital. Today we are the productivity division of the business. So we do software, but we also do offshore products, big projects, technology. We do a lot of infrastructure, hardware, security, consulting with your IT digital journey. So feel free to talk to us if you have any IT related questions or need. Software wise, we have 2 parts of our business. We do products ourselves, we also do services. So today we will focus on the services that we provide, but we also use some of our products tools to demo our capability to develop a automation or any IT software development that we can do for you. So to get it started, I think it's more exciting to show the real action. So I'll pass it to Daniel to start with Power BI, which is a reporting tool that we often use from Microsoft. Pass it to you, Daniel.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Daniel. I'm a software developer, and I work on a myriad of software development projects here at Houston. And I also take on many of our Power BI and data projects. Today I'm going to take you through some of the benefits that Power BI offers, including its integration with numerous data sources and its ability to create dashboards that drive informed decision making. The key strength of Power BI is unlocking the ability to explore and exploit relationships that exist in data across your organization. All data is connected ultimately, and in a world of rapidly growing quantities of data, harnessing the relationships between all of that data allows us to explore the trends and the insights in our data so that we can navigate it and extract specific information. So I'd like to talk about some of the benefits that we can get out of Power BI, and then I'll take you through just a bit of a light demo to show you the sort of dashboards that we can create. So fundamentally, Power BI is oriented around the creation of dashboards. These are visual interactive reports, and that gives us near real-time insights into our data. It allows users to explore the data in an intuitive way. They can drill down into specific details of their data and gain a deeper understanding with just a few clicks, modifying filters and jumping through different elements of their data, all within the one Power BI interface. Power BI comes with a pretty large set of visualization options. So a visualization is a way to view data. That could be a chart or a graph or a map. And there are a variety of more advanced ways to look at data through these different options for visualization. There are features for exploring data, for summarizing data. There's cross-filtering. Cross-filtering lets us put on multiple different filters onto the data as we go. We can look at our data and say, I want to look at this specific time or this specific person, and see everything corresponding to that. And Power BI lets us do that in a very intuitive way. so that we don't have to apply one filter or another as we go. We can just click through and see everything as it is. It also allows us to drill through. So if we've got one person we'd like to look at, one product, one service, it lets us click onto that and drill through and see everything about that one within the full dashboard. Power BI has various approaches to data modeling. So data modeling is about starting off with your raw data and shaping into a way that is in some way insightful. So we look at the relationships between data. The relationships are fundamentally what binds all your data together. Your services are provided by people. Your transactions are attached to services. And modeling is the stage in the process that lets us create that map. This lets us use those drill through features, those cross filters, and it gives us a way that we can structure data to look at it from different angles. So I'm going to take a moment to give you a bit of a demo. Going to show you some aspects of cross filtering, some different visualizations, some drill throughs, just to give you a visual idea of what we can kind of construct. So here we've got just a fake medical clinic, and we've got the Power BI dashboard for that. So this dashboard is giving us a summary of financial information. So in the case of medical practices, there is revenue from services rendered, and there's also something called capitation, which is just a specific way that medical clinics are funded through subsidies. This one gives us a bit of a breakdown just on the various summary revenues. We've got these filters here, so we can filter by date and see the different income streams across those dates. We've got multiple tabs we can go through in Power BI. So we can break it down into a drill through approach, into tabbed approach, or into a mix of the two. So here we've got a breakdown by 4 different clinics that this organization manages. And that gives us, in this case, we've got the income for the clinic. We've got so this is service revenue. We've got the capitation, the subsidies, and then we've got totals. And we can break these down in a specific way that works for your organization. If we drill through here, we can look at one specific clinic. And this is giving us a much more detailed view based on just this one clinic. We have multiple different visualizations here. So we've got all the usual ones shown here. Nothing's too advanced in this report, it's just for the demo. But we've got the usual column graphs, bar graphs, line charts, and also just some summary visuals. When we click on individual parts of this, that allows us to apply a filter to everything that we're seeing. So here we've got one service provider, and if we click on that, we'll get information filtered down specific to that service provider. So you'll see all these values over here have changed. We can see the income provided by this one provider. We can see the various services provided. We can see the various patient walk-ins, all filtered down to everything that we click on. We can filter by date. We can filter by different services. And we can also apply multiple at the same time. And this is one of the greatest benefits of Power BI. It lets us instantly access all these different filters all at once. And this gives us a lot of options for exploring data and seeing these relationships that are normally obscured. We also have just general filters we can apply. So everything we do, if we wanted to, we could just always apply that to everything we're doing on the screen. That's all for Power BI, but if you have any questions at the end, we will be taking some, so feel free to note them down and ask them as we go. We do have the chat option, so feel free to send some through there.
Awesome. Thanks, Daniel. So we'll now hand over to Nathan, who'll talk about Power Automate.
Hello there. Hi, everyone. So today we'll explore how Power Automate can seamlessly integrate with legacy software, even in the absence of APIs, and how it can mimic human actions to perform tasks that could normally not be automated. So let's imagine we have a software system that lacks APIs, which is how software communicates with each other. So it makes integration with other systems challenging. Our job is to automate the process of copying data from an online form to a desktop application. Data entry is a great opportunity for automation. It's a job no one likes doing, and it's prone to error. The Power Automate allows us to record and replay user actions, effectively automating tasks within applications. For example, we can send and receive emails, update records in a CRM system, or trigger actions in other applications. If I share this. So you can see my screen. Yeah. So here we have a demo of a robot process searching for a patient. So we want to create and edit this patient record. You see the robot searches for the patient and opens it. And here it closes the pop-up. Now it opens up the patient record and it's reading, you can see it reading the name and the phone number from the record, and then it closes it. So in this instance, a patient already existed. So what will happen is in our admin portal, this patient record now goes action required. And so a receptionist can look over it and say, are these actually the same person? So in this case, we would select it and say yes. So then our robot opens up the patient record and starts filling out all the new details that we have. So it's filling out the name, filling out the ethnicity, and entering the address. Of course, this can be applied to any application that humans can interact with, and it's very fast compared to a human doing it themselves. So while Power Automate excels in automating repetitive tasks, it's essential to recognize its limitations, especially in decision making. So in scenarios where human judgment is required, say a matched patient is found, and we need to check that they're actually the right patient, because you need to ensure that you're not entering records into the wrong place. So Power Automate can alert the user and defer the decision to them. So yeah, today we've seen how Power Automate can bridge the gap between legacy systems and new workflows. So if any slow or repetitive processes in your business, come talk to us and we can build an automated process for you.
Awesome. Thanks, Nathan. Now we'll hand over to Luke, who's going to talk about customized software development and projects.
Perfect. Yeah, I'm Luke. I'm a software developer here, and I'm also the team lead heading up our IntelliMed product. So software development is quite a large term, but I'll be focusing on customized projects for a particular use case. I'll just share my screen. Yeah, so one useful thing about a customized project, in this case, where it's a web app kind of for a clinic, and so we work with the clinic for the client, and we go through the different work processes they have, and we look at where it can be improved. Lots of clinics or clients in general, small to medium businesses rely heavily on paper processes and also on Excel spreadsheets. And one hard thing about these is you get a lot of different versions of the spreadsheet, or you lose pieces of paper in the office, which makes it quite hard to manage the data and kind of have a single place where you hold all of the data as true. So this is where bringing all of those processes to a unified platform can really help in managing that data. Another useful thing about a web forms and web apps is we can validate data. So here I've got an enrollment form for a medical clinic, and we ensure clean data. If it was a paper form, people can miss out forms, they can misspell things. You know, they might not necessarily know their address, so we can autofill address, and it kind of improves that full process. So it ensures cleaner, more accurate data for processes like Power Automate to enter better. So, and it ties a lot of these other parts together. It's also a better user experience, and it can be tailored to the particular business process. Once you collect all this clean data, right, you can put it into Power Automate to enter it into your system, and you can also pipe it through to Power BI to report on it. And you can also have native reporting within the application, or embed your Power BI reports into the application using this data that you have collected cleanly. So here's an example of graphs that have been collected, or we've collected the data through either user input, or we connect into a data source that you currently have. If you've got a database on site or in the cloud, or even through SharePoint files, we can kind of pull in this data and kind of unify it together in a single place. And so we can draw graphs and whatnot for that. So yeah, it really does help with managing and kind of gluing everything together by having a customized project to do that all. When deciding on a customized project, you might think, well, you know, there's also out-of-the-box solutions that may do most of it. But the benefits of customized projects is you have the flexibility of the customization, and you can tailor it to your workflow and be very specific. You can also put all of your custom branding on, and yeah, it means it aligns perfectly with your business process, as opposed to maybe 80% there, like lots of out-of-the-box solutions. Another benefit as well is you can have full control of your data instead of, the exact deployment method can be tailored to you. So if you want to have all of your data on site in your own server, we can do that, or we can put it in cloud and know it's protected by our security measures as well. And those are lots of the benefits of having a customized project. Especially, and you also can log in online and access all of the data there instead of maybe only accessing it on your site. Yeah.
So now I'm going to give a bit of a demo of EasyScan. So EasyScan was initially developed for our medical centre clients, but can potentially be used for a number of other industries as well. So in this instance, it will be using NHIs as the example, which is your health identifier. So this is the EasyScan portal here. And what you can do is you can click here to upload a file from your computer. So you can upload it, or you can drag and drop from your emails as well, and then push upload. And so what we have here is this yellow one, So when it reads it looks for the NHI in this instance to identify the patient. But upon reading this document, the program has found 2 NHIs, so it might be a document that is about mum and her baby, let's say. And so it would rather fail it instead of uploading it into the wrong place. So what the admin can do is they can click on it, have a look through to identify the correct NHI, and then come over here and type in the correct one. I'll do that. Oh, I've forgotten the 7. I'm going to go OK. And then it's going to be processing to upload it. And you can leave a comment in here of what you would like to label it within the file. So if it was a lab report, you might want to call it lab report, and then with the patient's name, you can push the tick, and that one's done. So over here, we have a suggestions column. And these numbers here, the AI reads it to see, for an example, of what it might be. So these ones are the likelihood of each of these files being that. So saying that it's, 10.5% likelihood of being the medical history, and it will find what it could be. And this was developed because we know that obviously filing takes up a lot of time at our medical clinics, and in terms of making sure that it is filed accurately in the right patient notes. So what I'll do now is I'll hand over to Anthony to talk about client journeys.
Thank you, Hannah. I'm just going to talk a little bit, I guess one of the stories we had with one of our largest, I guess one of the New Zealand's largest urgent care. So came to us a wee while back to want to explore ways how to reduce the physical engagement required between patients and admin staff. So especially after the COVID lockdown. So that's one of the things that the clinical director wanted to nut down. So we had an initial meeting, and one of the key points that we identified was the GM was very vocal about concerned, and she's been very hesitant that she's been promised by other provider that this is possible and things that we can do. So obviously in the meeting we identified things that we need to work on, areas of concern, their processes and workflows. So throughout the journey, working with the management team and the ops manager, we have been very transparent, and we have formed a very good working relationship and partnership with this clinic. So end result, we actually implemented a very seamless system where a patient could scan a QR code, and then obviously then through that QR code we can replace a lot of their outdated paper forms. So the end results is very successful in terms of dramatically reduce some of their printing costs, especially these days with paper forms. Lowered some of the contamination risk. No longer needing to sanitize some of these A4 boards where patients fill in these forms, and furthermore reduce bottleneck queues to the lining up the reception. So I guess some of the things that we want to talk about with a client journey is our team is always in communication with the client to ensure a smooth, efficient relationship and operate and ensure their system is operating in efficiency. We always have constant feedback from the operations manager and the team for any changes that can enhance the patient and also the admin user experience as well. So I really kind of highlight some of the things that we do for our clients.
Awesome.
Thank you, Hannah.
So now we will move into the question time. So if anyone has any questions, please use the chat function to ask those, or we also have the Q&A section, so you can type them in there as well.
Yeah, so I've got one question here that's been passed through, and it's, what is the typical development process for creating a custom web application? So lots of the time we will set up a meeting and then we'll talk through the particular process that you want kind of handled. And then depending on the size and the scope, we'll kind of have a scoping period and kind of hash out the exact details, and then we'll submit a proposal, like a quote with the scope, and then we kind of move forward from there. Yeah, another question that I've got here is how user-friendly is kind of the interface of a custom web application for non-technical users. So lots of the time we use very familiar interface, I guess, elements that are used kind of all over the web, and kind of conform to kind of those best practice and best known user interface kind of guidelines to allow for that.
All right. If there are no other questions, we'll follow up with you, and hopefully, and if you need any other demo or specific tools you would like to look at or want us to show a little bit more of the capability, we're more than happy to do so. Myself, Anthony, and Hannah will be contacting you later on and see if we can help you in any business requirement that you may have. Other than that, thank you everyone for joining us today. Hope you enjoyed and see our capabilities through our colleagues' presentation. Thank you.